DJ DNA podcast. I'm DJ DNA, and today we got my guy in the building, Rolando Molina. What's good, bruh?
What's good, baby boy? Let's go.
Hey, I see you repping that the world champion LA.
That's what I love about you, my boy. You're putting the respect on the LA Dodgers. You feel me? The world now knows that we don't need to cheat like certain teams to win a World Series. You feel me? We just need
Fire.
good players, bro. Otani, Mr. Freeman. Can't wait to have those jerseys on, bro.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, my boy. Thank you.
How's everything been? Because we haven't talked in quite a bit. You know what I mean?
In a minute, man. It's been a minute, bro. There's life has thrown a lot of curveballs my way. You know what I'm saying? But just like my Dodgers, we be hitting them home runs with them curveballs. You feel me? So I update would be that I moved out of LA, as you already know. I'm in Utah right now, staying with my folks. Mom's unfortunately is going through a little battle right now, and she's fighting a good fight, and she's doing amazing. God blessing her and my family with the strength she needs to get through this. But I'm very happy to be here with my family. A lot of people are saying that I made the ultimate sacrifice. I said, nah, when it comes to my family, it's never a sacrifice. It's family first, always, always, always.
I definitely got your mom in my prayers, for
Appreciate
sure.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah.
First of all, let me say thank you for coming on here. It really means a lot to me. I know you're a busy man. You got a lot going on. And
yeah, man.
When I started the podcast, I had some people in my back pocket. You was one of those people in my back pocket that I knew when I got my shit together. You was gonna be one of the first people I called, and I called and you answered, man. I appreciate you.
Well, let me explain something to you and your audience. First of all, when I first met you, we never met face to face, but we met through TikTok. And the way we met is because you are a badass DJ, my boy. You put down those tracks, my boy. And then every time I would go on your live, I'd make a request and you'd fulfill it. And then you made me a little playlist too, bro. I don't forget that. So I work off of vibes and energy. And your energy and your vibes are nothing but love and positivity, my boy. And that's what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? So I just fucks with people like that. You feel me?
I love how that's your memory of me, how we met. Let me give you my memory, okay?
Here we go.
So I do. You're talking about watching me DJ. You were watching me DJ at about 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you're in LA, so you're 3 hours behind.
Yeah.
You're watching me at probably 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. But
sometimes I wake up that early, yeah.
But let me just say that the way we even met, you were watching me in the morning because I was doing a wake and bake mix.
The wake and bake mix.
So I'm scrolling TikTok. I see Rolando Molina on TikTok, and I'm like, oh shit, it's Baby Joker from next Friday. I do the wake and bake mix. Like, I need to stand out in your live. Like, you need to know who I am, right?
And you did.
And I did. We started talking, and I don't remember exactly what we were talking about in the live, but you ended up following me. And then being that you followed me, you seen that I was live, and you happened to join my live one day.
Yep.
And just straight vibes. I think every time you join my live, I think I'm playing. What song is it by Emin Joyner?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I forgot the name of the song, but that's the
Lucky You.
Yes,
Lucky You is my joint, my boy.
I got you.
Let me tell you that's one of the most fire joints that I've heard. Like when I first heard Eminem's Kamikaze album, which by the way I think was a banger, bro. It was a banger because after he's the GOAT, bro, right now. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. And then when I heard his album, after he took that L on the previous album,
exactly,
and he even admits it in his Kamikaze album. But then when I saw, before I even heard the song, I saw Joyner Lucas and Eminem. I'm like, wait, what?
Fire!
I gotta hear this, bro. It became my favorite track on that entire album, my boy.
What's crazy is that you would, there'd be times where you would join my live and I would just be playing music, but then there's times where I was playing music videos, and then I also had the music video. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember that, bro. That was
I'd play the music video.
That was so lit, my boy. I was just like, no, he's got the video on. Let's go.
Yo, so, you actually joined my live. It probably was like 3 years ago. I actually already interviewed you.
Wait, what?
You joined my live. You joined my live? See this?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, you talking about the dual live on TikTok?
Yep, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
You definitely joined my live, and I low key interviewed you. Then he got the he got the Dodgers water, the Dodgers water container.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you something. First of all, this is very special to me because my nephew, my oldest nephew, gave this for me for Christmas last year.
Fire.
And my youngest nephew gave me this hat.
Oh, that's corduroy too. I can see it now that you're
exactly.
That is closer. It's corduroy. That's hard.
Corduroy. And wait, and my youngest nephew gave me this, so that they know that I'm a diehard Dodger fan. And this is straight from Japan, my boy. That's is straight from
heavy.
Japan. Yeah, bro. My nephew went to Japan, and he saw the hat, and he knew that his uncle was gonna love it, so he got it for me and gave it to me for Christmas last year.
That's fire.
So, yeah, man. Dope.
So I interviewed you. It had to be like 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
It's either 3 or 4 years ago.
Probably about 3.
How long have you been on TikTok? Because it was probably right around you.
Oh, TikTok, I've been on for a long time, man. Probably about 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah. So speaking of TikTok, I know how crucial it's been to me growing as a DJ, as a a content creator. How has TikTok been like beneficial to you in 2020 in the 2020s? Right?
Well, you know what? Quite honestly, it's kept me relevant, I think, because well, look, everybody knows me as Rolando Molina, Baby Joker from Next Friday. At first, it was a little bit annoying to me because that's not all I am. That's not all I've done. But I had to learn to embrace it because I came to the realization that I'm representing our people. I'm representing
the culture, man.
The culture, exactly. And it's made an impact on many people's lives, and they see me up there, and they're proud to see me up there. Someone that looks like them, and so I learned to embrace that. And over the years, what happened was Next Friday. A lot of people don't even realize Next Friday we shot in 1998. I was 27 years old.
Holy shit.
And and it came out in the year 2000, a couple of years later. So what happened was it instantly became a cult classic because of Friday, and then Friday After Next, it was a franchise. And Ice Cube being who he is, you know what I'm saying? He has his following. And so I became part of that niche and that culture. And I had to learn how to accept that, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it was crazy to find out that when I only opened up TikTok because I had a younger actor friend of mine who he was on a show called On My Block on Netflix.
Oh, that series was fire.
Yeah, bro.
Was Nas the narrator in that?
No, I don't think so. No.
I did see On My Block though. I definitely seen it. It was with the kids in LA.
Yeah, exactly. It was a great show. But my boy Gilbert Ortiz, he was the one that got me started, just because he wanted me to follow him, to look at his stuff, and so I did. But I never posted anything. Then one day he shows up at my house, and he had an audition I was helping him out with. And then he goes, "Oh, Rolo, I need you to do this trend on TikTok." I'm like, "Trend? What? No, come on, man, I don't do that." And then so what he ended up doing is he did this little trend on TikTok apparently, and then he's like, "Oh, trust me, you're gonna love it." And so I'm actually going to show you guys right now what this little trend was, because I ended up making the video only because he forced me to do it. And when he forced me to do it, you'll even see in the video that I was just like, I don't know if I want to do this, you know?
Excuse me, is that your first TikTok video on your page?
That the very first TikTok video that I ever did. And then and all of a sudden I started getting thousands of followers within days, my boy. And I was just like, wait, what's going on here? But then I found out that next Friday was airing on Netflix now. So what happened was that, because I started seeing all these young followers following me on TikTok, and I'm just like, hey, what's up? And they're like, hey, what's up, baby Joker, next Friday? And I'm just like, bro, you're 13 years old. How do you know, about?
Right, exactly.
Oh, and then they would tell me, oh, I just saw you on Netflix, and I'm like, wait, what?
That's hard. That's fire.
Yeah, because of that, a whole new resurgence of Next Friday fans came out, and not only that, obviously, the original generation that saw Next Friday were showing it to their kids, and and vice versa, and all that. And then next thing I know, it starts airing all three films next Friday, and Friday after next started airing on HBO Max. And after that, bro, I went from 5K followers to 10K followers within days, and then 30, and then 40, then 50, then 70, and I'm almost up to 100,000 followers right now.
Hey, you catching up, good brother.
Yeah, well, bro, you're more famous than me, my guy. You know what I'm saying?
I was just playing.
Nah, bro, for real, man. You're what do they call TikTok famous, right?
Yeah, exactly. Not if you ask my wife and kids.
What do they say?
They'll be like, "Oh, you always." I be messing with my wife. I'd be like, "Alicia, just call me DJ DNA," and she'd be like, "No, never."
So
I'll always be Pierre. You know what I mean?
Exactly, to the family. So look, guys, I'm going to show you this TikTok video, the first one I've ever posted, and then you'll see why. Okay, here we go.
Back it up some.
Hi guys, yes, I did that. And you would do it too for a check. I was an employee, and I was gonna get employee of the month, and that's a period. Hi guys, yes, I did that.
No, that's
and you
fire.
Would do it too for a check. I was an employee, and I was gonna get employee of the month, and that's a period.
No, that's a good one too. And your lips were on too. That's not easy.
Bro, listen, the thing was, you saw me just with my hand on my face. It was because I was like, no, Gil, I don't want to do it. And he literally put the phone in front of my face and I'm going to start. Okay, fine. I did it. And next thing I know, it just blew up.
Well, I'm glad you did it, because if you didn't, we wouldn't be here right now, and we wouldn't be such good friends. And I appreciate you, good brother. So absolutely. I'm glad you downloaded TikTok.
Thank my boy Gil.
Big shout out to Gil. So let's get into the juicy stuff, right? Like, I want to start at the beginning. You're from El Salvador, right?
Yeah, I am.
Your mom and two brothers, right?
Well, I have one brother.
One brother moved to LA.
One brother, yeah. Me and my younger brother. We're the only two siblings.
It was the two of you moved to LA, right?
That's right. I was 4 years old. At the time, there was a civil war going on in El Salvador, which had been going on for quite a while already. Mom's, in her wisdom, didn't want my brother and I exposed to that. She wanted a better life for us. So, she, single mom at the time, came looking for a better life for us and made the ultimate sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? And then I grew up with the magic of Hollywood, because that's where I started. We were living in Hollywood.
Before we even get there, though, like, what was LA like? Do you remember El Salvador at 4 years old?
No, not at 4 years old.
Okay,
no. But I do remember when I went back to live there when I was about 6, 7 years old for about 2 years, and those memories are seared in my head, because that was that was an experience.
Like comforting, or no?
Well, it was bittersweet because I got to meet my family, my mom's side of the family, and my aunts and grandma and uncles and whatnot, and got to experience family. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, there was still a civil war going on at the time, and even one night, from what I remember, it was probably about 6 o'clock in the evening. I was watching a show on called Different Strokes. I
Of
don't know if
course,
anybody
of
knows.
course. I'm
Yeah,
an '80s
no, you
baby,
would.
so
Yeah,
you
would
got
know.
me by a decade, I think.
Yeah, probably by a decade. So, but the funny thing was when you're watching Different Strokes in El Salvador and it's dubbed in Spanish, ¿por qué estás hablando inglés? You know, so it's a whole different monster. No, but I was watching it, and next thing I know, I hear gunshots, bro. And I look out my bedroom window, and I literally see this dude running from military police, and obviously the dude was a guerrilla, and they were shooting at him, and they ended up shooting him and killing him. And next thing I know, it was an all-out battle in our neighborhood, and we had to like barricade ourselves inside the apartments, and it was all night long.
Yeah.
The next morning when it was over, went outside, and a couple of bodies here and there, and a lot of blood, and and I'm like 7, 8, almost 8 years old at the time, and I was desensitized to witnessing death at that age. So that's when I say it's bittersweet, because no 8-year-old boy should have to go and see dead bodies in the street. You know what I'm saying?
Did you say you went to go live there, or did you just
Yeah.
visit?
Yeah, no. My brother. So my mom, at the time, she fell into some financial hardships, and had to send my brother and I to live with family back in El Salvador. And we ended up staying there for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years. And actually, the good thing was that I ended up going to school there, and that's where I learned to read and write in Spanish.
Oh,
So I was able.
that's a gift.
Yeah.
That's a blessing
Oh,
right there.
oh, absolutely, brother. Absolutely. I mean, I'm not the best at it, because even to this day, my dad corrects my Spanish from time to time. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. So my brother and I experienced that together. But the one thing that my mom always wanted for me and my brother was for always us to be together all the time.
Yeah.
Because my grandma was telling my mom, "Oh, go with Rolando and leave Mario here." That's my brother's name, Mario, here with me. My mom's like, "Nope, I'm keeping them together. I'm keeping them together." And I thank God and my mom for that, because for that reason, my brother's my best friend.
I was gonna bring up Mario because he's an actor as well, right?
No, my brother Mario's not an actor.
No?
Where'd you get that from?
I swear, I'm gonna get Mallory.
No.
No worries.
No. Oh no, you know what? Maybe they were confusing Mario Lopez. Mario Lopez.
She better not have. She better
No,
not.
no, because I worked with Mario Lopez once. I did an episode of a TV show called Pacific Blue with him back in the mid-90s.
Yes.
So that might be, that's the only Mario.
I swear, maybe I might have misheard her, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But
but
so you stayed there for about a year, 2 years,
almost 2 years, yeah.
And then you came back to LA.
Yeah, my mom met the man who is now my father.
Yes.
And him and my mom sent for me and my brother to come back to LA and live with them. And it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me.
To be back with your mom right now.
To be back with my mom and to have a man that I call my father, to the point where I adopted his last name. I have it tattooed on my back. I got his portrait.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful.
When he was 5 years old. You know what I'm saying? So beautiful. We formed a family. Yeah, we formed a family. And look, like any other family, we had our ups and downs, but at the end of the day, we're a very strong and united family.
Beautiful.
And very loving. I'm very blessed. I'm very, very blessed.
So you get back here, you're about 8, 9, 10.
Right? I'm 9 years old at this point.
What's it like growing up in LA as a 9-year-old?
Man,
I'm from Connecticut, bro. Listen.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
from
yeah.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
I'm from the other side, right?
I feel you, bro. I feel you. So man, at the time, I didn't know how fortunate I was to grow up in such an amazing city, because LA had it's a vibe. It's just a vibe. Where else can you travel 30 minutes west and hit the beaches, 2.5 hours south and hit San Diego and the Mexican border, TJ, an hour and a half east and you hit the San Bernardino Mountains and go snowboarding or skiing in the winter, and then 6 hours north and you're hitting the San Francisco Bay. Not to mention, we have the best weather in the entire country year round, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful.
And yeah, bro. And in Cali, well, Hollywood is the home of movie making, you know, and because of that, I grew up in that whole scene in the '80s. I was an '80s teenager, you know what I'm saying, and I grew up with you know, the John Hughes films of the '80s, the '80s music, the
Such a
new wave
vibe, right?
hairstyles.
Exactly.
Bro, it's such
New
a
wave.
vibe. Bro, the old school and freestyle music, but movies is what the one thing that really caught my attention the most, because it was a way for me to kind of get away from everything. And my mom's and my dad used to take us to watch movies, and especially I remember I have fond memories of this one movie theater in North Hollywood where I grew up, called El Portal, and they played Spanish movies there. We're talking Lola la Trailera, the Armandis brothers, and it's just so I grew up with the magic of movies from both Hollywood and Mexican cinema. So that's where my first love started for film and acting.
So I'm glad you said that, because your love for film and your acting got you a job as security guard at Universal, right?
Yeah, man. So so I really hadn't told anybody that let's rewind a little bit. So when like I was saying, I fell in love with movies. So I have childhood films that I absolutely adore. One of them being E.T., another one being The Sandlot, another one being The Goonies, and one in particular called Stand By Me.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, Stand By Me. Um, that film in particular, the actor River Phoenix planted the mustard seed in me to want to become an actor. And I tell this to everybody that asks me how I got the love to be an actor. In that film, River Phoenix was an up and coming young actor, and this was a breakthrough role for him. And there was a scene in there where he had to get emotional, and his performance when he got emotional was so amazing that it touched my soul. Like literally, I started bawling, and no other actor had ever. I've seen many movies where actors cry and I'm like, oh, that's sad, but he really made me feel what he was feeling. And at that moment, I realized, oh my goodness, that's what I want to do. I want to move people the way he moved me. And so I'm about the same age. He was, I think, 13, 14 when he did that film, and I was about 12, 13. And that's when I really decided that I wanted to become an actor. And I didn't know how I was going to go about it. Didn't tell anybody about it. So anyway, junior high happened. And
Were you involved did you end up getting involved with any performing arts?
So in elementary school, I was asked to do a couple of little school plays where I had these one-liners like, "Hey, that's my cookie,"
That's so
stuff
funny,
like.
because I was in Fiddler on the Roof, and I was a
Oh,
crow.
really?
I was a crow.
You were a crow. I
my
love it.
line was let's get out of here.
I'm
But
dead.
no, I'm dead
Bro,
ass.
that's
So
too
you
funny.
had some little lines in school
So yeah,
plays.
so that also kind of like gave me a taste of. Sorry, that's
No worries. That's
that
probably
that
gonna
also gave
happen.
me.
That's gonna happen to me
Yeah,
too at some point.
yeah. Let me just silence it. But that's one of the other reasons why my curiosity for the arts of acting began. But like I said, that performance by River Phoenix is what really did it. So in junior high, I actually had the opportunity. I was an usher at an open night. When the parents come to talk to the students, teachers, and whatnot. I was an usher, and I was directing people where to go. And this lady walks in, and she has these big glasses on, a lot of jewelry, a lot of makeup, and how you doing, darling? Can you tell me where room 2B is at? And I'm like, yeah, sure, right up the stairs and on the left hand side, right there. You're adorable. You ever thought about doing commercials? And that's how she really talked, bro. And I was like, actually, yeah, I have thought about wanting to be an actor. Well, I think you got a great look. And, I think, yeah, here's my card. Have your mother call me. And it was the Schumacher Talent Agency. So long story short, I end up going to my mom. She takes me to this lady's office. She auditions me with a Skippy peanut butter commercial. She falls in love with me. She tells my mom, I want to represent him. I need you to get me his pictures, his headshots, and his social security number. And, we leave and, we get in the car and my mom's like, I can't bring you back here.
She asked for your social security number.
That's exactly why. At the time, we didn't have papers.
Right.
Right. So the fear of la migra was a real thing back then. So anyway, that opportunity kind of, and I was bummed out. But then, fast forward to high school, I graduated high school, everybody from my counselor, my teachers, my parents, what college you going to go to? Or, I'm like, that's not what I want to do. So I graduated high school and I made the decision to give it a shot, take a leap of faith. And so what I did is I went and I'm like, okay, how do I get my foot in the door? So I went and applied at almost every major studio in LA.
Let me stop you for a second because
yeah,
I want to stay in high school for a second, and I just want to tell you a little bit about me, right?
Okay.
So I've been involved in performing arts. That was my outlet as a kid. I was in Al-Anon meetings.
Oh, really?
Are you familiar? Okay. It's kids of alcoholic families.
Yeah.
So I was in those meetings with a place called Rushford here, and I've told this story before, so people might hear it, but I don't think you know this.
I haven't.
So I was involved with this place called Rushford, and I was in Al-Anon meetings, and I've met people in those groups that I'm still friends with to this day, and I hold them near and dear to my heart because we were going through the same stuff back then, and we're still here and friends, and I absolutely love them. But Rushford had a program called MyU. It stood for Middlesex Youth United, and I was in this group, and we used to perform skits about our lives. So I was a kid of an alcoholic family. There was another girl who
been there.
Okay, yep. And there was another girl who had an eating disorder, and all these different people who would hurt themselves, and we would make these skits about our lives. No one else knew they were about our lives, but we would perform. We would make these skits and then perform them at different high schools in Connecticut.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
That was just something that I was involved in acting. I feel like I wanted to tell you that. So,
oh, dude, that's awesome. I love that. Thanks for sharing that, man. That's and it's a positive thing that you were doing and being involved in the arts and doing that to reach out to people to let them know they're not alone.
And big shout out to Oddfellows Playhouse, man. They're like they're a playhouse out here, and they do these groups that I was in, and we would do like improv classes, like where you can't say no. You literally like freeze prov. You know what I mean? Where you would improv and then carry on to the next scene without saying no. You literally just got to go with it, and
Right.
I think that's kind of prepared me to be an entertainer. I didn't know what part of entertaining I wanted to be in.
And that's what I was going to tell you, man. You're a natural when it comes to performing, and even when you're DJing, bro. You got this energy going, and you got like these lines that you know what I'm saying. But no, bro, I could definitely see you're a performer. Yeah.
So you decide to take that step, the first step to acting, and you applied at all the major studios.
Yeah, and back then we had what's called a human resources, where you had to literally walk into these offices and get paper applications and fill them out with a pen. And
talking to you young bucks out there.
Exactly, right. So yeah, man. So the only one that called me back was the security department at Universal Studios. Well, actually, it was a security department that was hired by Universal Studios, contracted them.
Right.
Yeah. And so anyway, so they offered me a job, and I'm like, I took it running. And what they told me, the description of the job was, you would be a security guard guarding movie sets at Universal Studios.
Let's talk about that, because I know people to this day that need a job, but they're not trying to start from the bottom. They want the highest paying job right away.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes
you got to pay your dues, bro. You got to pay your dues. And if you don't, and I've seen some people that are handed to them, things like that are handed to them, and they don't appreciate it enough, and they squander it because they didn't have to work hard to get what they listen. My parents led by example. My parents worked their butts off their entire lives because they wanted to give us the best, right? So, but they paid their dues. And right now, my parents have a beautiful home. They're retired, but they put in the work. And myself, that's the reason why when you have no idea how annoying it is to me when somebody comes up to me and go, "Hey, man, make me an actor." Bro,
it's the same thing. It's the same thing with DJing.
Right, exactly. That it's an art form, everything. And so, and this is what I tell them. I go, "Can I ask you a question? What? Do you go to a doctor's office and say, 'Hey, make me a doctor'? Do you go to a lawyer's office and say, 'Hey, make me a lawyer'? No, you don't. You know why? Because you need training for that. You need to put in your dues in order to become those things. It's the same thing with acting. You can't, you might have the chops, but you can't just act, or ask somebody to put you in a movie. First of all, I don't have the power to do that. I'm not a producer. I'm not a casting director. I'm an actor. I'm the one asking the producer and director to put me in. You know what I'm saying?
Like, hey, you mind if my buddy comes in here right after me? Yeah, all right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Nah, man, but and I try to be as nice as possible, because look, I am the last person to try and crush anybody's dream. In fact, I encourage people to take that leap of faith. But there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it, and that's definitely not the way to do it. So
you get the job. Listen, this is the juicy stuff right here. This is something that I want to know what was going through your mind, right? You're working at Universal, security guard for movie sets, and Edward James Olmos is working, and he's filming American Me in 1992. I'm talking about a guy who was in Chips, Hawaii Five-0, Starsky and Hutch, Miami Vice with like over 100 episodes.
Yes, sir.
He's coming through the set. You obviously know who he is, right?
So at Universal, I was called the B guard. The B guards are the ones that would guard the sets and whatnot. And then eventually I graduated to A guard. And A guard, you get to patrol the lot in a vehicle in the back lot, and then other parts of the studio. So at this point, they had me at what was called the production truck gate. And the production truck gate, only production vehicles were allowed to come in and out of, right? And well, in not out, but anybody come out, but it just in was only production vehicles, so no civilian vehicles were allowed. So one day, this cherry red Porsche 911 drives up with tinted windows and
Fire in
floor and
1992.
in 91 actually.
91. It came out in 92. It
Yeah.
came out in
It
92.
came out in 92, correct. And it had Florida license plates. And the guy pulls up, and I hold on. You got to put down your window. Being try. Okay, you're gonna have to turn around. And I look, and I see his face looking up at me, and it's Edward James Olmos, and I froze, bro. I mean, literally, I felt like my stomach just dropped because yes, you're right. I had seen this guy in Chips. I had seen this guy in Miami Vice. I had seen this guy in an amazing film and adaptation of a great play called Zoot Zoot. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
And
not familiar with that's out of my age range, but
yeah.
it's
But let me tell you, you need to watch it. By the way,
I will.
If you
I
haven't
definitely
watched
will.
Zoot Zoot, so I looked up to this guy. I knew who he was, and so I said, Mr. Olmos. Oh my gosh, it's a pleasure to meet you. And I told him I'm an inspiring actor and this and that, and he goes, "Do me a favor, don't call me Mr. Olmos, call me Eddie. You're like my father when you call me Mr. Olmos." And I was just like, Eddie, all right,
You
cool.
think of him as like the gangster in Two Guns, telling like that's how I see it, right?
Bro, let me tell you, he was the first Latino to play the boss of a white guy in a TV show, Miami Vice. He played the chief.
That's fire.
And I thought that was that to me was so inspiring. So anyway, you're right. He was starting pre-production in his film American Me. And I asked him, I go, "Oh, hey, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, and I'm going to start filming this new movie." And he told me it was going to be his directorial debut. He was going to start directing.
Inspired by a true story.
Right, inspired by a true story. And then he said, well, that's when I told him, I said, well, hey, I look up to Mr. Olmos already. I'm sorry, because I want to be an actor too, and that's why I'm here at the studios. And he's like, that's good, man. That's good. You keep it up. And then he would keep coming in and out of the gate for a couple of weeks, and I would let him in, obviously, all the time.
Just small talk, I'm assuming.
Yeah. And no, he would literally stop every. Hey, Rolando, how's your day going? Everything good? Yeah. How's the family? Family's good. Okay. Have a good day, man. And then one day, this guy drives out and stops, and he's like, Mexican dude. He goes, "Hey, which one of you guys is Rolando?" Because there was two of us at the gate. My little homie Randy Gidding, who was a little Filipino dude who also wanted to be an actor, and he actually had headshots, and he had gone to acting school and stuff like that. And I go, "Well, I'm Rolando." He's like, "Hey, Eddie almost wants to know if you want to audition for his movie." And I'm like, "What?" Yeah. He's looking for a Latino to play a cop, and he likes the way you look in your security guard uniform. That's like yada yada yada. And he goes, "You want to audition?" And my buddy Randy's like, "Hey, I'm an actor too. Can I audition?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, Bob says, "Yeah, you can act. You can, yeah, come on down." And then he goes, "What about you? You're gonna come?" I'm like, "Oh, I mean, I never acted before." I said, "But I could be an extra." He's like, No, I don't hire extras. I hire actors." And I was like, "Okay,
I guess I'm an actor."
So anyway, so listen. So when that happened, this was on a Friday. He said, "Come through on Monday during your lunch, and you can both audition." So Monday comes, and I blow it off.
Oh, hell no.
I blow it off because I thought it was a fluke. I was just like, "There's no way. There's no way."
You was inside your own head.
I was. I really was. So I showed up to work. Randy comes. "Rollo, where were you?" I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, "They were asking about you, bro, and they're waiting for you." And I'm like, "What?" Yeah, my car broke down. Yeah, BSing, right? And then he said, "Well, anyways, he gave me his extension. He wants you to call him." And I'm like, "Oh, damn, all right." When I called him, I go, "Hey, Bob," and he's like, "Hey, Rolando, what happened?" And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, my car broke down." Good actor from the beginning, right? so anyway, I ended up going during my lunch, and I did the audition. And mind you, I've never had any training, no acting classes, nothing. I just know that I had a few run-ins with cops at the time, and I knew how to act like a jerk cop.
You know how to be
You know what I'm saying?
real.
Yeah. So that I did it, man. And a couple of days later, I ended up getting a call that I booked it. And
He wanted you.
Yeah.
He
And
was
you
gonna
know
give
what?
you that opportunity. He wanted to give you that opportunity, bro.
He did. Eddie Olmos, I owe him my entire career, and I said it from day one.
I
You
see
know,
you got a
so
tribute post on your social media to
uh,
Edward.
I, so when before I moved, before I moved out of LA, I had my man cave, and every time I would go live on TikTok, I had the American Me poster behind me, and then by the way, it's autographed by him.
Fire.
It's one of my prized possessions, if you will. So I had kind of like my little wall of fame with other stuff, like my Next Friday thing, and so that was definitely one of the highlights of my entire career, and I owe my entire career to that man, and I tell people that all the time, man.
Yes.
So
And
yeah,
he's a super dope actor. If you guys don't
amazing.
know who we're talking about, check him out. Edward James Almost.
Almost right. And
Almost.
yeah, but check this out. The easiest way to find him, those of you that are fans of Sons of Anarchy and
Yes,
the
I was really
Mayans.
about to say that. Yes, he's in
Yep.
Sons of Anarchy. He played in Selena.
Well, he's actually in Mayans.
Mayans, yes,
MC.
Mayans. I got
Yeah.
Mayans. You
Yeah.
was in Sons of Anarchy.
I was.
You
I
were in
was.
Sons of Anarchy, and
Yeah.
I remember when I first watched the episode. I don't know if you remember this or not, but we were already friends by then, and
Yeah.
I sent you a picture. I was like, look what I'm watching, and I sent you that. But yo, one thing that I wanted to talk about was American Me came out in 1992. You
Right.
corrected me and told me that it was 1991 when you were filming. So
Right.
let me say since 1991 up until 2020, you've had a project, whether it was movie or TVs, come out every single year.
Yes, sir.
And then 2020, there was blank. And then 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you took 2020 off because of Animal Kingdom. Am I correct there?
No. So no. What happened was 2020, 2019 and 2020, 2020 and 2021 was the pandemic.
Yep.
And the entire industry shut down. So nothing was being filmed. So that's the reason why my IMDb. I see you did your homework, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
On my IMDb, you won't see much. But when Hollywood was trying to get back on its feet from the pandemic, auditions began starting up again. But this is when we started doing what's called self tapes from home. I ended up having to invest in, ring lights and backdrops and mics and all that stuff to film my own auditions because no casting directors were having in-person auditions anymore. So I ended up booking this show called Animal Kingdom, and it was it 2020 or 2021. What did I don't remember. I think it was
So
2021.
I'm pretty sure it came out in 2021.
Yeah, it was 2021. And that was the only gig I booked that year. And then the following year, again, it was still slow. And I ended up booking a show called Unstable, which was my first Netflix show.
That was literally leading into my next question.
Yeah.
Unstable with
Yeah.
Rob Lowe and his
Yep.
son, John Owen Lowe.
Yep, that's correct. I had a little recurring role on there. I did 2 episodes in the
Bro,
first
I
season.
thought it was you're my friend. I love it. So when I see you and stuff like that, it warms
that,
my
man.
heart, good brother.
Yeah,
You was there to
thank you,
pick
bro.
up branches, good brother.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm glad that you see that, man, because the one thing, going back to the whole thing about how people when they hear the name Rolando Molina, they think of Baby Joker. The characters that I've played over the years have been from one end of the spectrum to the other, because at the end of the day, I'm a character actor.
Yes,
Which
I
means
agree.
that I love to play different characters all the time.
I got ADD. I'm gonna be all over the place.
No,
so,
let's go. Let's go.
So let me just say that. So you never had to really worry about typecasting.
Well, for a minute I was.
Right.
For
exactly.
a minute I was. Yeah. Yeah. But that's the thing that I had to break out of that, and I did that by changing my look up and everything,
and doing roles like and playing in sitcoms like Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Yeah.
Listen,
yes, sir.
That's one of my favorite episodes, and I'm not even joking. My daughter, I have a 20-year-old daughter, and I have a 14-year-old daughter, so it's on the spectrum, right? Let me just say that episode was really fire, and I've known about that episode for years. That episode is based around you. I don't know if you really pictured that or not, but you're in the very beginning and the very end. If it wasn't for your role, what would they have been talking about in that episode?
Exactly.
Your episode was telling him that he was rich.
Yep.
And the whole episode was about him just spending money and being an asshole. And then the very end, you come in and it's like, nope, you ain't got no more money. Nope. My family got the money.
I got it now. when they kicked your family out, they kicked my family in. And I'm glad you mentioned that episode. No, go ahead, ask.
No. How many people have talked to you about Sweet Life of Zach and Cody? But a lot of people bring that up?
Well, no, and because a lot of people don't even realize it's me, and let me explain that. That's exactly the era, the time where I was getting tired of being typecasted as a thug, as a drug dealer, the ball.
That's like 2007, I think, like around.
I don't remember.
It's okay. It's okay. Right. Yeah. I think it's around that time.
Right. Around that time, you're right. And I had just done a couple of years earlier a film called Crazy Beautiful, where I played the older brother of Jay Hernandez, and my character
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst, that's right, Jay Hernandez and Kirsten Dunst, and I played the older brother of Jay, and he's a thug. He's a guy who's wasted his life, and he's a cholo, and all that, tatted up and bald headed and everything, has nothing going for him. But I did that role because of the message that he gives to his younger brother, which is a very memorable scene, and a lot of people, especially the fans of the movie, which is mostly girls that because of Jay Hernandez.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna. Mallory, my friend, she, two of my best friends are Mallory and Slink. When I told her that I was interviewing you, she was like, "Oh, he was in Crazy Beautiful."
Oh, wait a minute. I think she sent me a message.
You definitely follow her. She was in my live that day. You were following people in my live that day. She was one of them, but. Anyway, the message, funny. Right? Yeah,
that's fun. Yeah, no. So that's the reason I did. But after that, when the film came out, that's all they were sending me auditions for. And finally, I called my agent and said, "Look, let's stop this. I'm not doing this anymore. I want to break out of this. I can do so much more." And she's like, "You're right. I agree."
Absolutely.
So what I did is I grew my hair out. I grew out a beard, and I took new headshots. And that started working. I started getting auditions for the gardener, the uncle, the dad, and this and that and the other. And it's finally switched.
Don't get me wrong. It's 2023. You were still the plug in Animal Kingdom. You were still
listen.
Look, they came to get some work from you.
Listen, in Animal Kingdom, it was a flashback scene, so it's you know what I'm saying. And I actually love that character because that character. I knew it was only going to be one episode because it was a flashback scene, but I was playing the dad of one of the main characters on the show.
It was her sweet 16 that day or something like that. Her birthday?
It was Ray Gallego. No, you're thinking of Shameless.
That was Shameless. That was Shameless.
Yeah, no.
In Animal Kingdom, you had the auto body shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I played the dad.
My shit, though.
Yeah. No, you do. No, but I played the dad of Ray Gallego's character. My buddy Ray Gallego, who plays Little Pete, and I was playing Big Pete in the flashback scene. So, but that character was the last time I played anything kind of like in the thug,
Gangsta.
the gangster type of thing, right? Yeah, man, I just love the fact that I'm able to now play so many
Yes.
different characters. I mean, the fact that you brought up Unstable and the character Lorenzo, who
Silly,
you know,
very out, giddy,
yeah,
right? Like it's like, haha,
exactly,
the way Holmes climbed that tree though.
yeah, yes,
That shit had me dying. I don't know why Rob thought he could do
yeah,
that, but
yeah, it's hilarious.
so I mistake your role from Animal Kingdom from the
And
role of
Shameless,
Shameless. That's a whole
yeah,
nother
yeah,
nother ball game. But
yeah,
let me ask
yeah,
you this: do you remember every role you played? Cause hold on,
yeah,
because you've been in 115
yeah.
TV and movies. Do you remember every
Yeah.
role you played in?
The majority of them, yes, but with that being said, I remember watching something and all of a sudden I pop up and I was like, I did that. I literally forgotten that I had that was on
Right.
this show. So yeah, so no, I don't remember all
You
115.
you have some podcasts that you've done with other
Yeah,
podcasters. Big shout out
right.
to all the podcasters. And
Absolutely.
even me, when you were on my TikTok live, we talked about next Friday and Baby
Yeah.
Joker. And
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I started this podcast is because when I'm live, I can't really talk to my following, and they only know that I'm a DJ. I want to give them a different side of me. So this is
Good.
kind of why I wanted to do this interview, so I can talk about things like Agent of Shield, where people may not know that you're in something like that, which is super important to a timeline, and quite one of the dopest franchises.
Absolutely. Another one of my greatest accomplishments in my book is the fact that I have been immortalized in the Marvel universe.
Fire, bro. You know
You know what
how
I'm saying?
as a friend of you, I'm like, yo, this guy had to be like out of his mind thinking about having this
Oh, bro, I,
opportunity.
I I I geeked out, bro. I geeked
I can
out.
only imagine what you were going through when like
I
I picture you having like a little dance like this.
no, bro, no. I was pulling one of these.
Yeah, let's fucking go.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, bro. When I got that call from my agent that I booked it, and and this is the thing. I have done so many auditions where I literally will call my agent afterwards and say, expect a phone call because I know I killed it. I know I nailed it, and that was one of them. I knew that I nailed that because
Yo,
the people in the room. You read the room. You read the room, and you notice how the producer and the director and the writer and the casting director react to your performance, and that's when you know whether you put it down or not.
I thought it was funny because in the episode of Agent of Shield you're in, you were fucking badass in the fucking as when your scene started, you was fucking badass until you seen this guy flame on.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yes, sir.
That's a really dope episode, man. He came back to get your ass.
Bro, let me tell you, my shout out to my boy Gabriel Luna who played Ghost Rider. And the fact that they Marvel in their wisdom made him a Latino Ghost Rider, you know what I'm saying? That I thought was amazing, and that was another reason why I was so stoked and geeked out about doing the show in that particular episode. And and my agent was like, "Well, no, we should hold out for something more like recurring where you can come in." Oh no, I want to do it. I'm gonna do it.
That's super dope to see another person who looked like you have such an important part and given an opportunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, because it was my character was part of the backstory of Ghost Rider,
Yes.
of what he'd been through, and as a younger kid. So, but yeah, being taken out by Ghost Rider was definitely one of the biggest highlights of my career so far.
We got so much more to talk about. I want to stop this episode here and do part 1 and part 2.
I'm down.
And we're going to give them a part 2. What you think about that?
I'm totally down, bro. I mean, I didn't even realize that we've gotten this far. And
It's been an hour already, good brother.
Bro, it's been an hour, bro.
Yes.
That's crazy. Yeah, dude, I'm definitely down for part 2, my boy.
All right,
because,
so
I'm
DJ DNA. This is the DJ DNA podcast. I got Rolando Molina in here. This is part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. Peace.
Deuce coming up. Let's go.